who didn't want to go to Goa after Dilchaka? Who didn't want to get into a car with their friends, you know, chuck up everything and just go to Goa? I mean, everybody wanted to do that. So we all did it, and what was so refreshing was, and maybe was a little irritating for filmmakers. Arey yaar, we all wanted to do this. Usne kar diya hai. You know, I mean. So I would, and yes, and I definitely, I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why I've chosen Kashmir as a destination for my next film. But when I saw Rockstar, I wanted to go to Kashmir because I think Imtiaz, the way Imtiaz sees, I'm really looking forward to seeing Highway. Because Alia being in Student of the Year is now completely deglammed for Highway. So I want to really see how the transformation of an actress. I also want to see the transformation of, I mean, Imtiaz is a director from Jab We Met to Nawazkar to you know, Rockstar, and now back to Highway. So it's interesting. So yeah, so these are probably 3 films that at the top of my head, I mean, there are so many films that when I saw Sholay, I wanted to go to Ramgarh. I wanted to go to Ramgarh, and then when we were looking at locations around Mysore and Ooty for Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, the driver said, "Yahan pe Sholay ka shooting hua." We stopped the car. We got off, we went over there, we paid obeisance to this big rocky place that was there. Gabbar yahan pe chala tha, vagera vagera. So we did all that, you know. So I mean, we are a crazy country.
It was a Bhelpuri wala on Juhu Beach who first made me understand how profitable a film shooting on a particular location is for that particular region. Anand was a film which was made by the great Hrishikesh Mukherjee, and there was a song of Rajesh Khanna, the great superstar of the bygone days, which was shot on Juhu Beach, where he is with the balloons. It was shot on Juhu Beach. So I remember one evening we were there, so the Bhelpuri wala said, "Sahab, ये film वाले जो आप लोग कमाल करते हो यार, हमारी दुकान जो है उसमें आपने नई जान फूंक दी है। वो ऋषिकेश मुखर्जी का जो गाना है ना आनंद का, उसकी वजह से हमारी दुकान जो है आजकल बहुत तेजी से चल रही है." Now that is the truth. All our predecessors, they couldn't go beyond Juhu Beach, Mud Island, and you know, China Creek. There was a place called China Creek, which is beyond Baseen. It was beyond Baseen. Now that's called China. It's actually China Creek, which is called China Creek, or Chandivali, which is now a studio. But I think with the passage of time and the equipment getting less cumbersome, those were the days of the cameras were bulky. You needed a sound van and all that. With this the Nagara coming and the camera getting kind of lighter, filmmakers started going into unexplored regions, started going on mountains, and then things changed. The technology changed and the filmmaker's appetite. Today the Indian filmmaker is ready to go anywhere. When I say anywhere, anywhere. And that is what he realizes, that unless I give an alternate experience to the viewer, the chances of me attracting the consumer through the 30 seconds promo are less. So he tantalizes. So that is the be all and the end all of our endeavor, is to excite you guys. It's like the spider. The spider, when it weaves a web, gives it a little bit of a sheen. There's a liquidy shine to it, exactly, so that it can draw the fly in. Yeah. We are all spiders. We try and give you some kind of a sheen to draw you in.
A lot of India. I've been for the last 17 years making films. So thanks to this book, I'm going to now start seeing a lot of India. But I mean, if I can, I think Hampi is one a location or a destination that I think that has been discovered, has been rediscovered over the last 10 years, thanks to the Literature Festival, and lots of my friends and lots of filmmakers and lots of people from media have been going to Hampi, and I think that's an interesting area that we could, I would like to put into my own films. But the one I want to put Bombay. And when I say Bombay, I'm using the word Bombay because I grew up in Bombay, and not in Mumbai. And and I grew up 10 minutes from here. There was a building called Sterling Apartments, and I grew up here. And I went to a school just down the road, and so this is the city that I have grown up in. And when we show the city, we tend to show it either in a film based on the underworld, and so you will show one part of the city which is Mazgaon and the docks and the squalor. So, I want to show the city which is vibrant and energetic and the city that I grew up in. So that's something that I'm really very excited to do.
So we can hope for a film on Bombay.
Yeah, very big time. Yeah.
10 years.
We can just now said that to Mumbai, which was once Bombay and then became Mumbai, has a very unique journey in terms of architecture, in terms of history. That is something that one would like to capture through one's narrative. And I wish I had done that effectively in my last directorial film, Zaku, which dealt with my own journey in life, which dealt with my own childhood, and the years later. If I had the budget and if I had the access to those spaces which I had lived 30 years, 40 years, 50 years ago, then I would recreate it to give it the spatial kind of difference. That's the only thing I would say. Otherwise, no, I never look back and look at things that way.
From any of the recent...
Cinema, the language of cinema that they have control on language is something which is staggering. And I would think that what in fact they have is just too much eloquence and less substance. So I would say that they should work on substance and scale down the eloquence, because I keep on saying, what good is the art of saying things well to a person who has nothing to say? So I would say that yes, they have a dazzling idea of the form, but they do not have enough heart in their stories, and I think that is what I see. But what he rightly said is, Kahani is a stunning example of a balance between the two. Even Barfi, to a certain extent, is that. And I think that I have not seen enough work of late of other filmmakers to make comment on that, but I think there is no denying that there is a shift. The epicenter has shifted from those movies shot in foreign land with Switzerland. Now, the filmmaker is thinking of his own backyard, and he wants to serve his own film to the people of India. And that, I think, needs to be celebrated. And I think the reason I'm here is to celebrate this, because your book celebrates that.
And we actually couldn't have found a better person than
of human stories, of whether it's Saraj, whether it's Janam, whether it's even if you see Dile Ke Mata Nahi, you can pick it up from the road movie that it was and move it to another location. It was a wonderful relationship between two people. So I mean, why I say Dile Ke Mata Nahi, because Dile Ke Mata is probably the most frothy film that Bhatt Sahab had probably made. I mean, a man who made Kash. So it's funny that we have him, and I think one film that you did make abroad was Naam. And Naam again is based in, it was shot in Hong Kong, and it was one of the first films we shot in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, and we shot in Dubai.
And yet I don't remember the location. I just remember Kumar Gaurav, I remember Sanjay Dutt, I remember it being a complete shift into two brothers story. Wonderful it was. So I mean, I understand what he's saying, and it's interesting that all filmmakers, when we all get together, we all sit together, we start chatting, we say, अरे यार but Bhatt Sahab का वो film था वैसे करते हैं और Bhatt Sahab का वो था वैसे करते हैं. So we are all actually trying to emulate what he did, and then we just one day checked up and went away.
I'm serious.
Are you not
Generalize.
When I said something, I said I wish they work more on below the surface, because we work in a time where appearances are more important than the substance. This is a fictional time, and the filmmaker is also a victim of that. I cannot say that every filmmaker is mere appearance and no substance. But there is no denying that we all as filmmakers have evolved and realized it's only after we have scratched the surface that we really explore the depths of our own work. And that is what happens as you evolve. It happened with me and it's going to happen with them also.
So just an extension to that, if you take a movie like Ram Leela, it is visually delightful, it's a visual treat, but the substance is missing. It doesn't have a real plot. Like if you take your movies like Sadak, which has a real story to it, but audience doesn't seem to mind. So
well, I think the very fact that the film is a phenomenal success, that means people are putting their hands in their pocket and making a purchase. And there is a view that everybody has, from disease to divinity. That view has its place in the constituency where that discussion is taking place. But I'm not in a position to pass judgment on Ram Leela and any of the film, because I think the filmmaker at that moment chose that kind of film. It's not a diplomatic position that I'm taking. And neither have seen the film. But yes, Sanjay is known to make films which are magnificent to look at, intimidating at times to look at, too self-conscious, too stylistic, but those become assets, like the lobby of J.W. Marriott became a major attraction for people to throng. So we never saw bookshops like this in the bygone days. The Strand bookshop was the only reference that we had. But now, if you want to be in the book selling business, you need to have as attractive. But does this place have as many good books as Strand had when Shanbagh was shipping? Well, if nobody is listening, perhaps no. Because those were small bookshops where the first bookseller worked very hard to cater to his consumer. So I think times change, but I think the most brilliant marriage of substance and style was his film, which he made of that very moving story like Kal Ho Na Ho. I think that is what ideally is a right balance between spatial brilliance and the emotional depth. And that is what a filmmaker ideally should strive for.
One more please.